video on a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking in today's video, and for joining me. Hopefully wherever you're watching from, you're drinking something delicious, you're sitting in a comfy chair, and you're ready for a shave. You know I am. Today we've got just over 72 hours of stubble, and we're gonna be docking it down with Doug, Fran, and Hux's brand new scent. That's right, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements just is going to be releasing a scent this week, and we've got it in hand on deck a little bit before it releases, so you can hear all about Hinoki and Sage. I am absolutely thrilled, I am honored, and I'm humbled that they would include us in this product release and allow us to do a kind of a spotlight and a showcase on it. I love the scent. It is based around the Japanese kind of methodology of Shinrin-yoku. I want to pronounce that correctly, Shinrin-yoku. It's all about forest, like letting the forest kind of bathe over you, letting it all come over you, and overtake all your senses as a therapy process. I love the scent. It is natural. It smells organic. It's very calming. It's a very relaxing scent for me, and I'm thrilled to have the chance to not only talk about it, but to showcase how well it shaves and performs. It's going to be awesome. We're also going to be talking about something that I just got sent as well from my good buddy Last Shadow. That's right, Ian sent us this handle. I want to talk a little bit about his soap scoopers that he's creating by hand. Take a look at this. I absolutely love the work that Ian does. He's an absolute master of metal. He is a magician when it comes to making things shiny and making things like really pop. You can tell there's a lot of effort that went into this. He has my my name, or my initials stamped on the blade here. But then as you rotate it, he has his logo. I just love this. I think it's so beautiful. The green marbling to that shimmers, it shines. I want to give Ian a huge shout out and a massive thanks for thinking of us and for sending this to me, personalized for me. Absolutely awesome. From the bottom of my heart, sincerely, thank you so much. My really good friend Ian, Last Shadow, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you. He's going to be producing these on a more full scale for sell purposes. I know he's selling a few of them, but he's going to be doing more of them. And I don't know distribution, but as soon as I do, and I know a little bit more about that, I'm going to make sure to talk about it a little bit more, because I love these as a soap scooper. They get down to the bottom of the tub, which I really like. And it's actually kind of fun. It's like almost oddly like enjoyable. Watching it, it's oddly satisfying, right? Watching it scoop the soap off the top and create this fine layer. Really beautiful, beautiful soap scooper, right? I would say it's more of an art piece than an actual, just a tool of utility. I love this beautiful soap scooper, and a huge shout out to Ian for allowing us to not only talk about it, but to showcase it next to the Ender Speed Razor, which we're going to be using today. We've got 72 hours, and we're going to be knocking it out with his adapter plate. So this is also a Last Shadow invention. This is an adapter plate for the 1930s and 1940s Ender Speed Razor that doesn't have the flat bar. I want to call that out. A lot of people reached out to me and said, I have this flat bar that's a little bit more uncommon, and it doesn't work. So this is for the more common variations that have the teeth, right? It has the comb here, and I love the way it takes an injector blade and holds it into place using magnets, so you can just put it right into place in this old vintage razor and get an absolute BBS shave using modern injector blades. It's a fantastic adapter, and it really, I think it breathes like life, right? Vitalization back into the Ender Speed Razor line. I love the green. I thought the photos really popped. I think he did a fantastic job, like really matching these, and not only matching them, but making them specifically for me. Oh, it's really cool to get to use the Ender Speed Razor, because every time I pick this up, I think of him, and I think of Matt Hilton, and it brings a smile to my face. It reminds me of the people in the craft, or what make this so special and so enjoyable to do, right? It's you all being here, and you that bring your talents and your own skills that makes the craft so fun and enjoyable. Awesome, beautiful razor. And I'm really excited to use it, because today we're going to be using DE blades in mine, right? I don't use injector blades as often as I do DE blades, and I do that kind of fiddling, right? I fiddle and I put the blades together, and I actually kind of wedge them in place like we did back when we were using the actual Ender Speed Razor blades. It's just the way I do things. I'm not recommending it, and I'm definitely not saying it's better than the injector blades. I just like like doing it with DE blades personally. But I think it was one of those things I showed Matt back in the day, and I was like, you ever done this? So it's just something I continue, and I like the way it shaves. Let's talk a little bit about Hinoki and Sage. It's a phenomenal, absolutely green, overwhelmingly fresh fragrance that I think is going to really appeal to a lot of people looking for more of the natural and organic kind of fragrances. You have cedar bark, you have birchwood, you have Siberian pine, amber, clove, peppercorn. The moss in this is very beautiful. It's very present. It's really organic and green, but then you have a vanilla tone, and it kind of plays well with the amber. I think the vanilla actually makes it smell more fragrance-esque than it does only natural. It smells beautiful. It's very inviting. And again, this is all around the Shin-rin-yoku, kind of letting the forest bathe over you. It's a therapy process, but I would say it's almost like one of those like holistic medicines where you just let the nature take over and, you know, overwhelm your senses, lower your blood pressure. I really believe that the pine needle scent to this, right, kind of just draws my nose to like being outdoors in the more like waking up phase of the forest. It doesn't smell cold, and it doesn't smell like, you know, floral. So there's no like floral notes to this, because if you had florals, I think it would almost smell like, you know, summerish, where you don't get that. So there's like almost like a fall presence to it. And I feel like the peppercorns kind of keep things like at an undertone that make it smell very much like the forest is just waking up. I like the presence of the different notes that are green, fresh, organic, clean. I think it smells really, really nice. I think if you're a person that is buying from Doug, right, and you want a scent that's going to be a home run scent, that's just kind of an awesome daily wearable, but it's going to draw your nose back to memories of being outdoors, I think this really applies. I think the label's really fun. He made sure to include the fish, because it was actually coined by the Japanese Ministry of Agricultural Forestry and Fishery, right? So he made sure to include that. You've got the pine needles going on here. I love the label. It's basic, but I really think it gets its point across. Shin-rin-yoku, awesome scent. Huge, massive thanks and shout out again to Doug, Fran, and Hux for allowing us to talk about it. The lather today, I actually did my lather before I loaded my razor, and I did that so that I could allow the scent to just overwhelm the entire bathroom here. And I'm telling you this, it smells fresh, it smells clean. It definitely provides this the really, really nice cue with the cedar bark and the Siberian pine. They play super well together, obviously, and because there's something that are present together, right? That Japanese Hinoki in there, I think all together they just smell super relaxing. They just really lower my blood pressure and make me very relaxed. I just love this lather stuff. This lather though, did you come on? So good, man. I just love this the opportunity to do this and get to smell and experience the things that are coming out of their fragrance house. Again, Doug does phenomenal scents. He does some off the wall scents once in a while. Like we have the bay gum that just released. We've got clown fruit. He goes wild, but then he comes back and brings something out like this, where it takes you in and makes you just relax, and it really showcases the skill that he harnesses to produce his fragrances. All right, let's get in here. Let's start some shaving. Again, we're using DE blades in the Ender Speed Razor. This is the later model of the razor, and I have heard people mention they believe that this razor, the later model, was actually a bit more mild. For me, the razor shaves, I would almost say pretty much the same. But the part of the reason I say that is because with the razor, the way I use it, I actually allow the blade to kind of sit further back. I don't allow the blade to have full, like all the way to the bar exposure. And for me, that shaves better that way because I'm using a more modern blade, right? So it's a lot sharper. And because I'm using really sharp blades, I'm able to actually reduce the amount of blade exposure to my preferences. So for me, the razor shaves exactly the same as the other one because that's where I put the blades. And I managed to get the blades in the place that I prefer every single time. I do take a little extra time when I'm loading the razor. And because of that, right, I do believe it's a little fiddly. And I don't pick it up as often as I should. When you use Ian's adapter plate with ejector blades, there's no fiddling. You don't have to worry about the way it's loading or if it's going in straight or if it's going to be tight enough that it's not going to come out. That's really critical. I want to call that out. If you're going to attempt to use a DE razor blade in this, make sure that during the shave, at least probably the first 10 shaves you're doing it, that you're watching your blade and it's not moving around and that it's staying in place. That's something I do it even now. I make sure the blade between passes is not moving around on me. But with Ian's adapter plate and injector blade, you don't have to worry about that. Again, 72 hours of stubble. You can see the lather flows through the back of the razor through the front, so it just flows right through there, which is really cool. I like that a lot. It reminds me, you know, similarly, I want to call this out to that one blade razor, right? The way that you slide the blade in place and the way the lather flows through it, very similarly to the one blade razor. Not in a bad way at all. I really like the one blade razor, the pivoting head modern style razor. But this one, it's just very light. It's 30 grams. You can find these all over eBay. They're very common. They made a lot of them. They were a razor that was really sold as like a cheap alternative to using double-edged safety razors, right? And it was definitely like really selling you on their proprietary blade. Really, that's what it was attempting to do, is get you hooked on their blades. I like the razor a lot. Like I said a bunch of times, it's a very smooth shaving, very enjoyable razor. Like because of the loading mechanic on it, for me, I just didn't use it all that often, especially when we were using the original blades. So how we used to do it is we'd take those original blades, bevel the blade off, right? And then you'd wedge the blade in between a DE blade or an injector blade to hold it in place and secure it as you were shaving. That's how we used to do it. Since Ian's adapter plate released and got a lot of publicity, right? A lot of people were using it, talking about it, and sharing it. And because of that, a lot more people are willing to pick the razor up and use an injector blade in it, which honestly produces a very, very, for me, a close, very to the bone shave. But I do like a razor with a little less exposure than the typical, like, then it sets it up but from him directly. So I alter mine, right? I just limit the amount of exposure my DE blades have, and it shaves really nicely. Are you guys seeing this? To the bone, really, really easy, very close, very fast, very relaxing. The scent, again, is just absolutely welcoming. It's one of those ones that I worried about when I read the notes for the first time. I said to myself, I don't want to smell like a candle. And I think a lot of people, when they smell pine and they smell cedar and they kind of hear about like the clove and moss, the first things that kind of run through your head are, I don't want to smell like a candle again. But I don't think that's where this comes, and I don't think that's where it takes your nose. For me, it definitely smells like fresh, but it smells alive, and I like that a lot. It brings me right into like hiking mid-March or early April, depending on the snowpack, right? So where I live, the snowpack definitely determines how early we can get up. And if I get up a little too early, right, all you're going to be doing is snowshoeing essentially, which I don't always love. I want to actually experience the forest coming back. And I like that this has that presence to it. It has that note to it, has that nod to it. Oh my goodness, super nice. Very calming, very relaxing, enjoyable. I did take like a couple minutes, a couple seconds, and just step back and enjoy the actual scent before even starting to film, because I like it so much. It has a beautiful like harmony to it, especially with the vanilla. Like I said, the vanilla, the peppercorn, the amber. I think the amber makes it a little sweeter, but the sweetness, like I said again, it speaks to the revitalization of the forest. It speaks to it coming back to life rather than something that's like dead, which I really appreciate. And I also like that it's not super floral, so you can actually experience the green notes to it. It is so green, it's super welcoming, it's really fresh. I can't say enough to how talented they are at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements in making scents that are balanced, that are harmonious, and that really play well on bringing you into wherever they want to take your nose, right? Whether that's something crazy or whether it's trying to re-bring you back into the forest. Shinrin Yoku style, I think it's letting, you know, your senses be overtaken by the forest, right? And it brings the forest to you. I like that a lot. Again, huge shout out to Doug for allowing us to talk about it and allowing us to kind of discuss their new scent that they're going to be releasing here really shortly. I know we got the kind of the label and kind of some of the information like just a couple days ago. Honestly, it just barely showed up and it's like, okay, we're going live. It's an awesome scent and I love the opportunity to get to talk about it. Thank you all for being here this shave today was close. It was super relaxing. It's very, very calming. It's a scent that I think is going to apply to or appeal to a lot of people, especially people that have an experience or have a fondness for being outdoors. I'm one of those people that has found myself more than one time with a backpack strapped to my back, right? And out hiking and just enjoying, especially before we all had like cell phones and stuff, right? We were just enjoying the actual presence of nature, the birds, the water running, the sounds, the smells, all of it, right? All at once. And I think that's where this really takes my nose. It takes me back to that, back to, you know, just being able to enjoy the forest for what it was before we had the digital media that follows us into it, right? Absolutely phenomenal scent. Hinoki and Sage, again, from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, releasing this week. Oh, it's really beautiful. I absolutely love the scent. I just think the shave that it produced was to the bone. You can see here, it's close. It is so dang close. It's very comfortable. I did a little bit of buffing. I don't usually do buffing with that razor. I tend to forget, because I don't get a lot of blade fill out of it, that I do not need to buff to get a close shave. That's one of those ones that for me, if I buff a ton, I'm going to have like a little bit of discomfort, but I made sure to take the buffing to as little limited as possible while still knocking down the 72 hours of stubble to the bone. Oh, that is a good shave. It was comfortable. It was close. It was absolutely effortless. And it was with the brand new Hinoki and Sage Ender Speed Razor from Ian. Again, using that adapter plate. Awesome to have you here. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, it's awesome to have all of you here. You are what make this channel possible, and you are what make it so enjoyable. I love to talk to you all in the comments, and until I see you down there, suits.